everyone, it's Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life, and I'm here for a fun process video. Today I am working with a paper issues challenge for the month of May called Scrap Soup, I believe it's called. And they gave you ingredients to use, and you just had to have those ingredients on your layout. So it was to use three 4x6 rectangles, a 9-inch rectangle, an 11-inch rectangle, 7 embellishments, and 4 words. So I ended up using my three, they're not exact rectangles because there were a few pieces cut out, but the three 4x6s you can see I'm just using to layer up here, trying to figure out how I want that to go. That 11-inch rectangle is that piece of black. That is from, I believe, a crepe paper wonder collection. That's what that black pattern paper is from. And then right now, that 9-inch is that teal color that you see, thinking that's what I'm gonna do, but then I realized, and you'll see this, that my 9-inch is gonna change. Now I had picked out some embellishments here, but I'm going to add more than just 7. It just kind of ended up being that I had enough and I just worked around a few things, but you're going to see me struggle and struggle and struggle and struggle with these wood veneers. So these are from my stash and I love them so much, but I've had the hardest time using them. And I think it was because they were made for like tags, but I didn't know how to really use them as tags because normally I tuck tags under things. So I was having a hard time figuring out how to use them, but I told myself they had to get on this layout. So I made it, but what happens here is because they're both wood grain and they're thick, I was like, oh, darn it. Okay, so I'm layering them on top and I know it's going to be a lot of dimension, but I'm like, well, maybe I can just cut them. And while I'm cutting them, I realize that you can kind of layer away the wood veneer so that the bottom one is smaller. And I do end up doing that, although I do still cut it and so that it layers exactly the way I want it to. And I ruined this piece of paper, but in the end that part's okay because I end up realizing that I'm doing a 9x12 layout, so that is a 9-inch rectangle. So that's going to change a little bit. I'm going to add some more pattern paper to that. But you can see I'm still playing with this silly wood veneer. It takes me a little while to get this all figured out. I just wanted to say this is a really fun layout. So I have been working through some of the paper issues challenges lately. This year is really when I truly discovered all the challenges that they have. And if you haven't been there yet, really, you really should. So you have to join their Facebook group. It's called Paper Issues Friends and Family, and they have like 6 challenges a month. It is insane. And the talent that is within their design team and then the ladies that also like share their work, it's just amazing. I get so much inspiration from that group. It's so neat. And it's not like some of the other ones where you start your own thread and everyone posts their layouts randomly and all of that, which I know can get a little tedious. And you see like when I post, you see my post for the same layout like on 4 different boards, and that it's a little much. But this one, instead, you click on each of the challenges and all of the photos are within that challenge in the comments below. So you get to see everyone's challenges. It's really neat. So I highly recommend that you go on over there and do that. So anyways, you can see now that I realize, hello, this is a 9-inch layout. I can just make that my rectangle. So I added this piece of Simple Stories pattern paper, and this is part of the pattern paper I have challenged myself to use up by the end of the 40-day stash challenge that I'm doing with the Rediscover Your Stash event that's going on, hosted by Sarah Scraps and Christina Sorge. And so that's part of that, and then everything else, all of my papers are scraps. I found them all within my little scrap bin, so I was really pleased with myself about that. I'm definitely trying to work through some stuff and de-stash some stuff and just condense my space, because let me tell you, I've rearranged things and I have even less space than I did before. So I have to go through everything one more time and de-stash one more time. And then I'm going to do a room tour for you so you can see what everything looks like. So I'm messing around with my layout here. I was trying to convince myself to make this layout be left on the left side and everything, but I just wasn't really enjoying the way that was looking. I was really determined that that wasn't going to work. So instead I switched everything over so that my photo was on the right, and I like this a lot more. Sean's looking off the page, but Jackson's not. So it was one of those things where it doesn't really matter where the photo was because one of them would be looking off the page. And because I highlighted Jackson with that little frame, which was on a Project Life card that I had taken out, and I didn't want that card anymore, so I kept the embellishment to it. So that's where that came from. But because I highlighted that, I wanted him to be looking into the layout. So that's kind of where my final decision was made with that. You can see my bottom cluster finally is together. Not much change. It just took me forever to figure out how to layer it correctly. And I will add a little bit of fun foam just so that it's all managing the way I want it to. It's not going to fall apart. I had this as well. I found this on my desk while I was cleaning and moving things around last weekend, and it says family fun. And I thought that was so fitting because this was kind of a fun moment for us. It was our very last car ride as a family of 3, our last, it was just a fun moment. So I thought that was very, very fitting. I happened to put that little chipboard accent that you can see there, that is, and I added fun foam so you can see that because it's chipboard it needed a little bit of dimension, but that is from a Valentine's line from a year or 2 ago, so I got that used up, and then I put the other half down there by myself, and I'm just kind of counting in my head how many embellishments I have, making sure I have enough, but in the end I definitely do. I add a few extra things so that there's plenty there. Just making sure though that I'm following this recipe because that's what the point of this layout's for. But yeah, so I got a phone call the day on the 25th of March saying that we could go to the hospital and see if I could get induced. And so we loaded up the car. Jackson was going to stay with my father-in-law, and so we had to drop him off first. And I was like, okay, I wasn't going to take a photo of me at the hospital because I wasn't sure if we were staying there, if we were going to go home, and I just didn't worry about that. So instead, I posted this photo on Instagram and said, we got the call, and I just took this photo because I knew, like, I had taken photos the night before of us too, thinking that this would be our last one, but then I was like, no, this is officially our last family photo of us as a family of 3 before Nora came. So I don't know, for some reason it was a really big deal to me, and I just had a lot of fun remembering those moments while I was scrapping this. And I just kind of, because that's what it is, I just ended up titling it Beautiful Last Photo Together. And then I have hidden journaling in that little tag you saw me play with, that green tealish colored one. I put my journaling in there because, again, that the original background pad on paper, where are you going to put journaling where you can read that? Because I journal with a black pen and that would just blend in. You wouldn't be able to see it. And I'm really low on my thickers here. I am still in the middle of using up all of my I think I picked 15 packs to use and try to get rid of before the end of June. And so I'm using 3s as E's, and I used a B to make an H and all of that fun stuff. And then to make the word 4 letters, so it's a 4-word title, I just added that beautiful, which is from an Amy Tan collection pack, ephemera pack. And so I really liked the way that looked, and it was a nice little pop of white too. And I don't know, this layout was just so much fun. It was a really fun challenge too. So like I said, make sure you hang on over to there, and thanks so much for watching.